Welcome back. Well, we're very fortunate today to have on Congresswoman Mimi Walters. She represents the 45th District, which is your district here. And as I said earlier, it's my district as well. Always a pleasure to see you.
Well, thanks for having me back. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I know you're very comfortable coming here. You've been coming here under different capacities for years. So it's really nice to have you here. A lot going on, as we know, this year. We won't talk about all the debates and all that kind of. We could be here for days talking about that. But what are some of the accomplishments that the House Republicans have done in the 114th Congress?
Well, we've actually had quite a few accomplishments. First of all, we have a balanced budget resolution we passed, and this has been the first time since 2001. We also passed some entitlement reform for the first time in almost 2 decades. And you may recall Congress talking about the doc fix.
Yes.
And what that was is it gave a formula for physicians who treat Medicare patients so that they know what their reimbursements are going to be.
Okay.
And that actually has a long-term savings of about $3 billion. So that was a major entitlement reform that we passed. We also passed what you call Trade Promotion Authority, known as TPA.
Right.
And what that does is that piece of legislation provides really the framework for this president and the next president to negotiate free trade with other countries. 1 in 5 jobs in this country is because of free trade. It's a very important part of our economy. 95% of all consumers are outside of the United States. So free trade is very important. We also passed legislation that deals with human trafficking. Human trafficking has become a very big issue in this country. And what we need to make sure is that those people who are victims of human trafficking are seen as victims and not criminals. So that was another very big piece of bipartisan legislation that we passed that the president signed into law.
It's interesting when you bring up free trade, there's a lot of talk on that. And the talk that is going on in the debates and in general right now is jobs going to other overseas, other markets. We just had Carrier Air Conditioning announce that they're going to move their plant to Mexico, although it's a couple years away. So there is a balance there, isn't there, by keeping jobs here, primarily in manufacturing we're talking about.
Right.
But then as you talked about, when moving some trade to other countries, it also, on the other side, creates jobs here as well.
It does. But one of our biggest challenges we're having right now is we have a very high corporate tax rate in this country. It's the highest of all industrialized nations. It's almost 40%. And what we're seeing happen is that companies, in order to compete, are having to move their headquarters overseas because they need to take advantage of the tax rate. And they're not investing in America and in our jobs here in America. So what we need to do is we need to have major tax reform, and we need to allow our corporations to be competitive. And so that's something else that Congress needs to address.
Yeah, again, that's a good point. A lot of companies are headquartered now in, it seems to be Ireland.
Well, look at Allergan. Allergan's now headquartered in Ireland, and it was headquartered here in Irvine, in my district. And now we just saw Pfizer is coming in to buy Allergan in Ireland so that they can be headquartered over there, so they can be more competitive. Yeah,
and in a way, it's sort of the same situation we have in this state. Many companies, as you probably know, they will incorporate in a different state, Nevada, Delaware, obviously. And in a way, it's for the exact same reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we just would be more competitive from a tax perspective, we would have more jobs in this state, and we would have more jobs in this country.
All right, big year that we're in for obvious reasons. And I know the Republicans have a bold agenda. They at least are going to attempt to move forward, right?
Yes, we do. Under Speaker Ryan's leadership, we have 5 points that we want to try to tackle, and it's on our agenda. The first one is, of course, jobs in the economy and wanting to create more jobs. And under that is addressing our tax issues in this country and looking at tax reform. Poverty is another very big issue that we are going to be addressing. We have 46 million people in this country that are in poverty. 45 million people are on food stamps.
Right,
We
right.
want to create more opportunities and lift people out of poverty. Healthcare, of course, is a very big issue as well. We have putting forward some reforms when it comes to Obamacare and trying to make it more patient-centered, so a person has the ability to have a more dialogue with their doctor one-on-one,
Right.
more access, make it more affordable. Right now you have people whose premiums have gone up, their deductibles have gone up, they can't see their own doctor when they told they would be able to. They some people can't even go to their hospital. We want to change that. So we're going to be addressing healthcare. National security, of course, is a very big issue.
Right.
Government's number one job is to protect its citizens and to make sure we are safe. So we will be addressing our national security. And we also are going to be addressing Article 1 and looking at what the constitutional authority is of each branch of government. Right now we have a president who has, in our opinion, exceeded his authority and overreached when it has come to his authority from a constitutional basis. And we need to get back to that checks and balances. Congress's job is to make the law.
Right.
The president's job is to either decide to sign that bill into law and enforce the law and execute, but not create law. So we are going to be addressing how do we get back to a constitutional authority.
Couple points that you just brought up. Let's go back to healthcare for a minute. There are Republicans that want to just kind of abolish what's been called Obamacare, and there's others, seems to be such as yourself, that wants to look at it and go, there's some reforms we can make here. There might be a few good points here, but we want to change the scope of it.
We need to change Obamacare, and there was a piece of legislation to outright repeal Obamacare that I supported, and we put it on the president's desk, but he vetoed it. But really, we have to look at the whole healthcare system and make sure that where people are not getting the care that they once got because of Obamacare, we have to make major reforms. And what Speaker Ryan is doing right now is, as we move forward on this agenda, we are in the process of taking each one of these subject areas, putting together a comprehensive plan, and then we plan to roll the plan out in March or April. Okay. So we will have a comprehensive health care plan that the public can look at and say, okay, this makes sense. Because the last thing we want to do is make healthcare unaffordable for people.
Right, and there are several million people that currently that are on that and kind of depend on it. So it's more of kind of shifting things around.
Exactly.
National security. Today it was brought out that the FBI has requested and got a court order to have Apple unlock the iPhone of the San Bernardino terrorists. Tim Cook has resisted that so far. This has only been a one-day thing. First of all, they say we have to write the software to do that. We don't even have that. But it does create an issue on both sides.
It does.
As Tim Cook has said, if we do this, once software is out there, guess what? Other people are going to get their hands on it. On the other hand, the FBI and for national security may need at times to indeed get into people's devices, right?
Yeah, this is a very big challenge that we're facing. We need to find that fine line of how much can government go in and take somebody's personal information for security reasons versus protecting that software, because the other concern is if you have a software where people can get in through the back door, then terrorists are going to be able to get it. And so we have to be very careful. I mean, we're in a brand new war, really, when it comes to technology and cybersecurity.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a whole different game, and we've got to learn how are we going to deal with this. Big challenges ahead of us.
Yeah, this is really as much as been a tech war as anything else, a social media war. And you're somebody who represents the state, and of course, even though we represent this district, we are the tech stakes. So,
we are. We are.
Let's move on in that when I look at the committees that you're on transportation, infrastructure, but you're also on the Judiciary Committee, and I had asked you outside, is that committee sort of, do you have oversight over, of course, a very important issue coming up this year, with the sudden passing of Justice Scalia.
We really don't have oversight in terms of who gets appointed or nominated and ultimately will sit on the bench on the Supreme Court. That decision will be made through the Senate. The Senate has the jurisdiction to approve nominations from the president. So it's going to be a battle with the Senate, and the House will sort of just be on the side watching that.
It's going to be, let's face it, with everything, it's going to be drawn out.
It will be, yes. And unfortunately, Scalia has been one of the best Supreme Court justices this country has seen, and it's very, very sad that he's passed.
In Congress right now, with a lot of different turmoil going on as it is, we've seen decades now of, unfortunately, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, there's just not a lot of cohesiveness going on for whatever reasons. How long ago it started, back in the Reagan era. One of his best friends was Tip O'Neill, Speaker of the House, and of course a Democrat. But they would get together, let's face it, they'd probably sit back, have a scotch, and go, how can we work this out?
Yeah.
That's not happening anymore.
No, we don't see this. This president, unfortunately, has not reached out to either his own party or to Republicans to try to work out issues. But I will say that we have been working hard. I mean, since I was elected and since I took office in January of 2015, the House has passed almost 600 pieces of legislation. The Senate's passed almost 500 pieces of legislation. The president has signed about 120 pieces of legislation into law. So there has been some bipartisan work together. But what we're seeing mostly in the press is the big divisions where we just don't get along because we ideologically are apart, and the media wants to highlight that. And again, there's not the great relationship with the president, and that's been a problem as well.
Tomorrow, well, actually, I want to talk about tonight at first. For those people, you're going to be having a town hall meeting up in Tustin. This is at the community center at 5:30. And if people don't want to go up there, it's not that far away. What's nice is right here in Laguna Woods, tomorrow, you're going to be over at City Hall and meeting with the folks in this area.
Yes, we have mobile office hours tomorrow from 9 o'clock to 11:30 a.m. At City Hall in Laguna Woods, and it's so that our staff can help with people in Laguna Woods who might have questions or need help with government agencies navigating through, or if they have a problem and they want to travel and they need help with their passport, anything when it comes to helping with the VA, we're here to help, and so we will be in Laguna Woods tomorrow. Yeah,
and the Congresswoman knows this area. She grew up in this area, so this is a perfect opportunity for you. If you don't need an appointment, but it's not bad to call first. I want to give you the local number. It's 949-263-8703. That is the local number here that you can call, and I guess the gentleman's name is Donovan Higbee that they're gonna contact, and that way you can make an appointment. Again, it's not necessary, but if you got the opportunity, please do. It's wonderful that you could stop by. I know you're very busy. You got a real busy year coming up, and you made it out of the snow.
I did. I barely made it home. On Monday, I flew. I actually had to go to Atlanta before I came here, but I got off the ground before it really started to snow hard.
You had to buy a whole new wardrobe when you went back there, right?
I did.
Winter wardrobe.
Yep.
Real seasons back there. Congresswoman, a pleasure to see you.
Thanks so much.
And we really appreciate you coming by. And again, tomorrow at right here at our own City Hall, you can stop by there from 9 until 11:30. And it's a great opportunity for you if you have any questions. Take advantage of that, all right? Good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
All right, we'll be right back.